Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
Tense moments for a truck driver as he becomes the victim of road rage on the Southfield Freeway.
He got angry, shot at my truck 3 times.
A look at where the investigation stands right now. But first, dire forecast. A new projection reveals 3,000 Americans could die from the coronavirus each day in the coming weeks. That's a 70% increase. Dr. Anthony Fauci saying that could serve as a warning to states racing to reopen.
When you have mitigation that's containing something, and unless it's down in the right direction and you pull back prematurely, you're going to get a rebound of cases.
Here at home, a Michigan GOP congressman sues Governor Whitmer over her executive orders. Now at noon, what the governor is saying about her response to the pandemic and the latest litigation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here for Local 4 News at noon. I'm Rhonda Walker. The coronavirus pandemic does top our newscast. And before we get to the case count, we do want to point out that the case numbers that were released were not released until Monday night after there was a glitch in the reporting system. The state says that due to that backlog, the number that we have right now will likely go up higher as additional numbers come in. But we do want to update you on where we are right now. As of last update last night, there were 86 newly confirmed deaths due to COVID-19. In total, we've lost more than 4,100 people to the virus. As the number of cases continue to grow, we're up to 44,000 cases. 196 new cases were added by Monday. But again, we could see an increase in that growth rate as we get an update today. The next one expected mid-afternoon if all goes well. We'll update you both here on our website and on our mobile app. Meanwhile, Beaumont Wayne Hospital is reopening after closing its doors 3 weeks ago. The hospital was a COVID-19 only care facility for a short time around the end of March until it closed in April. The reopening began at 8 o'clock this morning and will take place in phases. Meantime, Pfizer begins testing an experimental vaccine to combat the coronavirus. The U.S.-based pharmaceutical giant says that the first human participants in the United States have been dosed with the potential vaccine. The company also announced that initial manufacturing for the vaccine will actually happen right here in Michigan on the west side of the state in Kalamazoo. The governor spoke about the development on the Today Show this morning.
The fact that there are human trials going on and that Pfizer has announced that they're going to be producing here in Michigan, I think is a wonderful thing. It's not imminent, but it is on the horizon, and I think we need to find those sources of inspiration.
The governor also addressed the latest lawsuit filed against her and her executive orders by the Michigan Republican Congressman Paul Mitchell. The suit claims that she stepped beyond her authority when she issued that stay home, stay safe order.
So Michigan is a state with almost 10 million people, and we are the 10th largest state in the nation, and yet we have the 3rd highest number of deaths from COVID-19. We've had a uniquely tough reaction to COVID-19, and that's why we've had to have some uniquely tough restrictions to combat it.
Meanwhile, there's likely to be more litigation. State GOP leaders say that they could file their own lawsuit against Governor Whitmer as soon as tomorrow. So we will keep you updated on that. Meanwhile, a new projection, and it's revealing 3,000 Americans could die from the coronavirus each day by June 1st. That is a 70% increase from current numbers. The startling Johns Hopkins University projections come as many states are starting to reopen. And while he hasn't and was not involved in these latest model projections, Dr. Anthony Fauci says they do make a point. And moments ago, President Trump responded to a question about another model that says that the death toll could reach 134,000 here in the United States by August.
We're going to have mitigation. No, we're letting people out. But the fact that we're letting people go and go to their jobs, they have to do it.
They're telling you something that's a reality, that when you have mitigation that's containing something, and unless it's down in the right direction and you pull back prematurely, you're going to get a rebound of cases.
Right now, President Trump is traveling to Phoenix, Arizona to tour a plant that is producing masks on the assembly line. Closer to home, Michigan Medicine is making cuts as part of an economic recovery plan. The company will lay off or furlough 1,400 employees and leave 300 open positions unfilled. CEO Marshall Runge and other leaders have agreed to take salary cuts. Michigan Medicine projects to lose $230 million by the end of the fiscal year. And the big three executives, the UAW and Governor Whitmer, have decided upon May 18th as the tentative restart date to get Michigan auto plants back up and running. Initially, early May was the target and as a potential date, but that was vetoed by the UAW. Rod Maloney joins us now this noon with a closer look at the details on reopening.
Well, Rhonda, let's be clear about this. Ford and General Motors have not given a date yet. They are not stating a date. It was Fiat Chrysler this morning in a conference call where they were discussing the fact that they've lost almost $2 billion in the second quarter, that they intend to open on the 18th of May. And the reason they're picking that date is it's past the current stay-at-home order, and also it is because they have been in talks with the UAW about this, and they figure that that is as good a time as any. There's only one plant, the Belvedere plant, where they make the Cherokee, that will open on June 1st. But they're going to be starting. The assembly plants probably won't go right away. They may have people in them, but they probably won't be running until they get some supplier parts made. So let's take a look at what the United Auto Workers had to say about this morning. Rory Gamble, the president, said, quote, "We continue to advocate for as much testing as possible at the current time and eventually full testing when available. As for the start date, the companies contractually make that decision, and we all knew this day would come. Our UAW focus and role is and will continue to be on health and safety protocols to protect our members." And so that's where it stands right now. It's all tentative, it's all a bit tenuous too, but the automotive companies are making it clear they've got to get back up and running. They are working very hard on new protocols for safety. In fact, we showed you some of those last night on Local 4 News at 5 and 6 o'clock, and we'll do that again today as they are changing the way they do business, and it's going to change the way the whole industry operates and the way they do things. And so we'll have more on that as well coming up later on Local 4 News at 5 and 6. Reporting live in West Bloomfield, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
All right, Rod, thank you. We'll see you later today. Meanwhile, concerns about COVID-19 appear to be eased today on Wall Street as the stock market is showing some healthy gains. The Dow Jones Industrials, they have started the day with a 200-point jump, and that jump has continued to rise. Stocks got a push today from the oil sector as well, with the price of crude oil rising more than 15% in early trading. There are still some negative trends, and Norwegian Cruise Line says that its future is in doubt, while Fiat Chrysler reported a first quarter loss of $1.8 billion. The company's stock, though, is down only slightly as there is optimism FCA could be restarting in the next couple of weeks their North American operations. As always, clickondetroit.com is the place to go for all of the latest information related to this pandemic crisis at clickondetroit.com/coronavirus. I want to get you to some other headlines this morning here at home. It's primary election day. There will be votes held for Warren Woods Public Schools, Garden City Public Schools, Grand Blanc Community Schools, and Monroe Public Schools. There is also votes for Fort Gratiot Township and Port Huron City. If you are unsure of any changes regarding voting, all polling locations are closed. You should have done it by mail, or you can visit a county or city clerk's office today in order to vote there. Allow some patience, though. Could be a line. Switching gears, we do want to talk about the forecast because we know we're having cooler temperatures in the 80s and upper 70s we saw all weekend, but we were enjoying at least a bit of a sunny start this morning, Brandon. Looks like it's clouding over now.
Yeah, and the clouds will be an issue when it comes to our temperatures for sure. At least we're not getting wet at this hour, and we don't expect to, although parts of the area down south, closer to the Ohio-Indiana borders, different story. 46 in Ann Arbor, live shot there in Ann Arbor. You can see 47 Pontiac, Metro Airport 47 also in Adrian. A little east-northeast wind up to 18 miles an hour. So we could feel 3, 4, 5 degrees cooler, especially those of us on the east side here, closer to the big lakes, as that air pours off. Now, we've got low 50s on this Cinco de Mayo, and we are trying to warm things up, looking ahead, looking for El Sol. Rhonda will do that coming up.
All right, Brandon, thank you. Still to come, a truck driver becomes the victim of road rage. What led him to his vehicle being shot at while driving along the Southfield Freeway this morning?